Elena stood on the platform, watching the departing train disappear into the distance, feeling her brand-new Valentino heels soak in a puddle of melting March snow. "Damn it," she muttered, pulling her phone from her purse. The next train wouldn't come for another 2 hours, which meant she'd definitely miss her important meeting in Chicago. The $1 million contract with the beauty salon chain was now up in the air, but all Elena could think about was how to explain her sudden return home to Maxwell. He thought she'd be gone for 3 days. "Sweetheart, why are you hiding your hand? Let me read your palm." A rough hand grabbed her wrist before she could dial her husband's number. Elena turned around and saw a fortune teller in her 50s, wrapped in bright skirts with gold earrings the size of saucers. "Let go, I don't have time." Elena tried to pull free, but the woman's grip was iron strong. "Oh, darling, I see trouble in your home. Don't call anyone, go in quietly. It's time to learn the truth. 2 snakes are warming themselves by your side, feeding off your warmth while preparing their poison. Go now, don't wait. And listen to me, your fate will take a sharp turn in a month. Don't be afraid of change." The fortune teller released her hand and vanished into the crowd as quickly as she'd appeared. Elena rubbed her wrist. Red marks from the woman's fingers were still visible. Nonsense, she thought, but she slipped the phone back into her bag. Something in that woman's voice made her uneasy. After 7 years of marriage, Elena had learned to trust her intuition. It had helped her build a successful business from scratch. 3 luxury beauty salons in New York, her own cosmetics line now being sold at Saks Fifth Avenue. And it had all started with a tiny nail studio in Brooklyn. The taxi dropped her off at the house 40 minutes later. Their 3-story mansion in the Hamptons was shrouded in evening fog. Elena paid the driver at the gate and walked up the long driveway. The lights were on upstairs. Maxwell was home. Strange. He usually stayed late at his construction company on Wednesdays. She quietly unlocked the front door and listened. Voices drifted down from upstairs. Maxwell wasn't alone. "She's leaving tomorrow morning. We've got 3 whole days," said a familiar voice. Elena, her best friend from college. Elena froze. Elena was supposed to be in Dubai. Just a week ago, she'd bragged about her new Arab boyfriend who had invited her on vacation. "Baby, you're a genius. That fool has no idea half her salon clients are ready to switch to us," Maxwell laughed. "And the best part? All the salon documents are structured so that, in a divorce, I can easily challenge her ownership. She trusts me so much, she doesn't even read what she signs." Elena leaned against the wall, her legs nearly giving way. Somehow, she forced herself to climb the stairs closer to their bedroom. The door was slightly ajar, and what she saw shattered her heart completely. Maxwell and Elena lay in her and Maxwell's bed, wrapped under the same blanket. On the nightstand stood the bottle of vintage champagne they'd been saving for a special occasion, their 10th anniversary. "You know what's funny?" Elena turned toward Maxwell, and Elena saw her diamond necklace, the one his mother had given her last Christmas, gleaming on Elena's neck. "She called me yesterday, crying that you'd become distant. I comforted her, said it was just a phase, that all men are like that. But honestly, I thought, just a couple more months and you'll be mine." "A couple months? Baby, I plan to end this charade in 2 weeks, Maxwell said. "As soon as she signs those transfer papers for the salons, supposedly for tax optimization. My lawyer's a genius, she won't suspect a thing." Elena crept downstairs silently, her legs trembling. She slipped out of the house just as quietly as she had come in and wandered aimlessly down the street. The March wind tangled her hair, tears streamed down her face, but she didn't even notice. 7 years of marriage, 15 years of friendship with Elena. All of it, lies. She remembered Maxwell swearing his love at their wedding, Elena standing beside her as maid of honor, helping her choose her dress. She remembered how a year ago, when she'd had a miscarriage, it was Elena who stayed by her side at the hospital. Maxwell had said it was for the best, that kids could wait. She came to her senses only when her phone began buzzing violently. Maxwell. She declined the call. Then another, and another. Finally, she texted him, "The meeting's running long. I'm staying in Chicago until the weekend. Kisses." The reply came instantly. "Okay, sweetheart, rest up, you deserve it. Love you." The words nearly made her sick right there on the street. Elena stopped in front of a cafe window and looked at her reflection. A beautiful 32-year-old woman with perfect hair, wearing an expensive Max Mara coat and carrying an Hermes bag. A successful businesswoman who had everything, except now, everything turned out to be an illusion. She pulled out her phone and called Kate, her head administrator. "Hey, Kate, listen, I'm not coming in tomorrow. I'm stuck in Chicago. Tell the girls we'll have a general meeting on Monday. And one more thing, don't tell anyone, but start quietly making copies of all the salon documents. Every single one, okay? Especially the founding and financial ones. I'll explain later. Elena spent the next 3 days at the Metropolitan Hotel under a fake name. She turned off her phone's location, replied to Maxwell's texts with short messages about being busy, while secretly planning her next move. Not just revenge, a complete takedown of their little conspiracy. She contacted her old college friend Isaac, now one of New York's top corporate lawyers. "Isaac, I need your help. Confidentially. I think my husband's trying to steal my business. Come in," he said, "and bring every document you've got." Turned out, Maxwell had planned everything meticulously. For the past 6 months, he'd been slipping her documents to sign, slowly diluting her share in the company. But he hadn't counted on one thing: Elena always kept copies of everything she signed. A habit her military father had drilled into her: trust, but verify. "You've got a chance," Isaac said after reading the papers, "but you'll need to move fast and hit hard. I've got a plan." On Monday, Elena returned home as if nothing had happened. Maxwell greeted her with a bouquet of roses. "Missed you, baby. How was the meeting?" "Great," she smiled, taking the flowers. "The contract's almost ready, just a few details left to work out." She kept her voice calm, even though she was boiling inside. Over dinner, Maxwell casually mentioned, "By the way, my accountant came up with a great tax optimization plan for your salons. You'll just need to sign a few papers." "Of course, honey," Elena nodded. "You know more about those things than I do." The next day, she met Elena at their favorite restaurant on Madison Avenue. Her friend looked radiant, new haircut, tan, glowing skin. "Elena, you can't imagine how amazing Dubai was. I just wish the trip had lasted longer." "Really? I thought you were there for a week," Elena said casually, noticing Elena freeze for a moment. "Oh, right. Well, Sultan, my friend, had to fly out for business, and I didn't want to stay alone." "I see. By the way, I wanted to thank you for always being there for me. I'm thinking about making you a co-owner of one of the salons." Elena nearly choked on her wine. "What? Elena, are you serious?" "Absolutely. You're my best friend. Who else can I trust?" Elena's eyes lit up with a greedy sparkle she tried to hide behind a sweet smile. "Elena, I don't even know what to say. That's so generous." "Nonsense, you've earned it. There's just one condition: you'll need to invest. Around $5 million. But it'll pay off within a year. The salons are very profitable." Elena knew Elena had that money, an inheritance from her grandmother she'd been saving for an apartment. "Of course. When do we sign the papers?" "Next week. My lawyer will have everything ready." At home, Elena continued to play the role of a loving wife. She cooked Maxwell's favorite meals, asked about his work, even initiated intimacy, though his touch made her skin crawl. "Baby, you've been so sweet lately," Maxwell said, surprised. "Is something going on?" "I just realized how lucky I am to have you," she replied, looking straight into his eyes. Maxwell grinned proudly, completely blind to the cold glint behind her smile. 3 days later, Kate brought her some interesting news. "Elena, I noticed something weird. Lately, reps from our competitors have been coming in, pretending to be clients, but really they're questioning our staff about work conditions. And also, Elena's been spending a lot of time at the Broadway salon. She used to prefer the one on Fifth Avenue." "Thank you, Kate. Keep watching. And one more thing, let's throw a company party for everyone. Next week, at Per Se, all expenses covered by the company. But that's going to be really expensive. Our girls deserve it. And invite our partners, suppliers, all key clients. Let's make it grand." At the same time, Elena quietly started moving her assets. Isaac helped her set up a new company under her cousin Marina's name. Marina lived in Portland and trusted her completely. Contracts with cosmetic suppliers, lease agreements, everything was carefully re-registered. "Are you sure this is legal?" Marina asked nervously over the phone. "Absolutely. I'm just protecting myself from an unreliable partner. Don't worry, there's no risk for you." On Thursday, Maxwell came home with a folder. "Here you go, baby. Sign these. It's that optimization plan I mentioned." Elena took the papers and pretended to study them. "What exactly changes here?" "Nothing major, really. The salons will just be listed under a holding company I'll manage. It's better for tax purposes." "Okay, but I'd like my lawyer to take a look first. Just a formality." Maxwell tensed up. "Why? Don't you trust me?" "Of course I do, honey. But Isaac would be offended if I signed something serious without showing him. You know how meticulous he is." "Fine," Maxwell muttered reluctantly. "Just don't drag it out." On Friday, Elena met with Elena to discuss the salon partnership. She'd prepared a beautiful presentation outlining all the advantages of co-ownership. Elena was glowing. Elena, this is a dream come true. When can I transfer the money? Here's the banking info. As soon as the transfer goes through, we'll finalize the deal. Does Maxwell know? Elena suddenly asked. Not yet. I want to surprise him. He'll be thrilled that you and I are becoming partners. Elena let out a strange chuckle. Yeah, thrilled. Sure. On Saturday, Elena suggested visiting Maxwell's parents at their country house. We haven't seen them in ages. Your mom called, she misses you. Maxwell agreed reluctantly. Things between him and his parents had always been tense. His mother, Victoria, greeted them warmly, though Elena noticed how intently she watched her son. Over lunch, the conversation turned to business. How's your company doing, Maxwell? Asked his father. Great, Dad. We're about to expand. And how exactly? Victoria narrowed her eyes. New investors, Maxwell answered vaguely. After lunch, Elena helped Victoria in the kitchen. Sweetheart, Victoria said suddenly, be careful. I love Maxwell, he's my son, but he's got his father's character. And my late husband, God rest his soul, was quite the womanizer. Mom, what are you saying? Just be watchful. And remember, no matter what happens, you're like a daughter to me. If anything goes wrong, come talk to me. Elena hugged her mother-in-law, holding back tears. At least someone in that family was still on her side. On Sunday, the company party took place. Per se looked stunning, luxury at every corner. Elena wore a seafoam Elisab dress that flattered her figure perfectly. Maxwell was in a tuxedo, Elena in a red gown with a daring neckline. You look breathtaking tonight, Maxwell whispered to his wife, though his eyes flicked toward Elena. Elena pretended not to notice. My dear friends, Elena began her speech. Tonight, I want to celebrate not just our success, but something bigger. 7 years ago, I opened a small nail studio with $100,000 and a big dream. Today, our brand is one of the most successful in New York. But the greatest treasure is all of you, our team. The room erupted in applause. And one more announcement. Very soon, we'll have a new partner. My best friend, Elena, will become co-owner of our Broadway salon. Elena flushed in surprise, and Maxwell nearly choked on his champagne. What the hell is this? He hissed, pulling Elena aside. A surprise, darling. Elena's investing $5 million. It'll help us expand. But what? We never discussed this. You're the one who said we needed investors, so I found one I trust. Maxwell went pale, then red. Elena, this is a serious decision. You can't just. Honey, don't ruin the evening. We'll talk later. She kissed him on the cheek and went back to the guests, leaving her husband stunned. All evening, Elena watched Maxwell and Elena exchange anxious looks, whispering whenever they thought no one saw them. It gave her a grim kind of satisfaction. Let them sweat. Midway through the night, William Saveliev, owner of a major aesthetic clinic chain, approached her. Elena, this evening is incredible. Listen, I have a proposal. Let's join forces, your salons and our medical services. It'll be a powerhouse. That sounds intriguing, William. Let's meet next week and discuss details. On the drive home, silence hung between her and Maxwell. He was fuming. Elena acted as if everything was fine. Why did you do that? He finally snapped. Do what? Elena, making her a partner out of nowhere. Maxwell, this is my business. I built it before we even got married. Or did you forget? But I'm your husband. We're supposed to make big decisions together. Like you did with your so-called tax optimization plan? By the way, Isaac reviewed those documents. He says your scheme's risky. We could face an audit. Isaac's just being overly cautious. Maybe, but I trust him. On Monday, Elena transferred the money, $5 million, to the new company's account, known only to Elena and Isaac. Perfect, Isaac said. Now for the fun part. We'll file it as a secured loan, backed by her apartment. She'll sign without reading, I guarantee it. You really think so? Elena, she's dying to be your partner. She'll sign whatever you hand her. And that's exactly what happened. Elena, thrilled by the prospect of co-ownership, signed everything without even skimming the pages. Elena, I'm so happy. We're going to be amazing partners. Of course, darling. By the way, I have an idea. Let's celebrate with a girls' weekend at a spa, just the two of us. Sounds great. Will Maxwell be okay with that? I don't ask him, Elena said coldly. On Wednesday, she met with William. His proposal turned out to be truly promising. The merger with his clinics would elevate the brand to a whole new level. But there's a condition, William said. I need a controlling stake, 51%. That's too much. Let's be honest, Elena. I know about your issues with your husband. My lawyers did some digging. He's trying to take your business. I can protect you. Sell me the controlling stake. Stay on as CEO with a $1 million salary plus bonuses. Most importantly, Maxwell won't be able to touch you. Elena hesitated. The plan was risky, but tempting. I need time to think. Of course, but don't take too long. I've heard your husband's already looking for buyers for the salons. That didn't surprise Elena. She was the one who'd started that rumor. Let Maxwell think he still had control. Then, on Thursday, something unexpected happened. Kate called, panicked. Elena, it's urgent. The tax inspectors are here. A field audit. Stay calm, Kate. We've got nothing to hide. Give them whatever documents they asked for. I'm on my way. But when Elena arrived, she learned something interesting. They weren't really checking taxes, they were investigating ownership. Someone filed a claim saying you're illegally using a trademark, the lead inspector explained. What trademark? The name Lady Perfection. Apparently, another company claims ownership. Elena instantly knew it was Maxwell's doing. He must have registered her salon's name under a shell company, but he didn't know Isaac had already accounted for that. Here are the trademark registration documents, Elena said, handing over a folder. Registered 5 years ago under my name. And here's the licensing agreement. Everything's legal. The inspector reviewed the papers. Yes, everything seems in order. Sorry for the trouble. The complainant insisted otherwise, though. Can I know who filed it? Construction Invest LLC. Elena barely held back a smirk. That was Maxwell's company. That evening, Maxwell tried to act casual, though his fury was barely contained. Heard you had an inspection today. Yes, can you imagine? Someone claimed I was using the brand name illegally. Good thing all my papers are in order. And who was this helpful informant? Some construction company. Probably one of your competitors trying to get to you through me. Maxwell nearly choked on his wine. What? My competitors? Who else? Construction Invest. That's your field, isn't it? On Friday, Elena headed to a spa hotel in the Catskill Mountains, an upscale resort with thermal springs, massages, and all the good things in life. Elena was thrilled. Elena, this is heaven. Thanks for inviting me. Don't mention it, girl. We're partners now. At dinner, Elena ordered an expensive wine. To us. To our success. Elena happily joined the toast, not realizing Elena barely touched her glass. By the third glass, Elena's tongue loosened. You know, Elena, I've always been jealous of you. Everything just works out for you, business, a gorgeous husband, money. Oh, come on, you're doing fine too. Fine? I'm 30 and don't even own an apartment. If it weren't for grandma's inheritance, I'd be scraping by. But now you've got a stake in the salon. Yeah, by the way, is Maxwell really okay with it? Why does it matter? This is my business. It's just he's so controlling. Likes to run everything. Elena stiffened. And how would you know that? Elena faltered. Well, I can just tell by how he talks to you. How's your love life, anyway? That guy from Dubai? Elena switched the subject. Oh, Sultan? Whatever. Nothing serious. Just fun. Shame. I thought you two looked great together. A beautiful couple as you and Maxwell. I wish I had a husband like that. Really? Of course. He's perfect, handsome, successful, attentive. Elena almost laughed. Perfect. Elena, you know there's no such thing as a perfect man. But Maxwell's close. Maybe. Though lately he's been weird. Cold, distant. Maybe he's got a mistress? Elena blurted, then clapped a hand over her mouth. You think so? Elena asked calmly. No. I mean, I don't know. Men are just like that. And if he does have a mistress, what should I do? Elena perked up. Get a divorce. Why keep a cheating husband? But I love him. Elena, don't be stupid. Love is chemistry, it fades. Self-respect matters more. You sound like a therapist. I just want you to be happy. You're my best friend. Saturday morning, while Elena soaked in the jacuzzi, Elena called Maxwell. Baby, Elena and I decided to stay till Monday. The service here is amazing. Till Monday? Elena, we were supposed to go to the theater. Oh, sorry, totally forgot. Go with one of your friends. Maybe I'll come join you? No, I mean, it's a girl's trip. You'll be bored. Fine, Maxwell grumbled. Have fun. After breakfast, the girls went for massages. Elena specifically chose a forehand Thai massage. After that, people are so relaxed they're ready to spill every secret. Divine. Elena moaned. It really is. Elena, have you ever fallen for a married man? What kind of question is that? I'm just curious. I've got a friend who's suffering. She fell in love with her best friend's husband. That's awful. Total betrayal. but she says love is stronger. Love? That's just lust. A decent woman wouldn't go after someone else's husband. Elena barely kept herself from laughing. Sunday evening, before heading back to New York, they sat in the hotel restaurant. Elena was tipsy and rambling nonsense about some spiritual practices. Elena half listened, lost in her thoughts. The plan was almost done, just a few finishing touches left. Elena, let's take a trip somewhere, just us. Italy, maybe. No men, just the two of us. Tempting. Once we close the salon deal, we could use a break. Exactly. By the way, when do we sign the final documents? Next week. Isaac's preparing everything. On Monday, Elena got home by lunchtime. Maxwell was at work, so she had time to check his computer. She knew the password, their wedding date. How touching. His email was a gold mine. Correspondence with a certain Victor about selling the salons, messages to a lawyer about divorce and asset division, and most importantly, emails with Elena. Not personal, they used messengers for that, but business. Turns out Elena had been working for Maxwell for a month, poaching clients and stylists. Baby, I'm home. Elena quickly closed the laptop and walked to the foyer. Hey, honey, how was your day? Fine. I'm dead tired. Did you make dinner? Of course. Your favorite seafood pasta. Over dinner, Maxwell was quiet, frowning and pushing food around his plate. Something wrong? Elena asked sympathetically. Work stuff. Big order fell through. That's too bad. Can I help? No, I'll handle it. By the way, those optimization papers, are you showing them to Isaac? Already did. He's reviewing. On Tuesday, Elena met with William to finalize the deal. I'm in, she said, but I have conditions. First, the deal closes within a week. Second, strict confidentiality until signing. Third, I want a buyback option within 3 years. Agreed. Why the rush? Family matters. Let's just say I need to shield the business from a hostile grab. Understood. My lawyers will have the documents ready by Thursday. On Wednesday, something Elena didn't expect happened. Her mother-in-law called. Elena, can you come over? We need to talk. Victoria met her in tears. Sweetheart, I'm sorry to interfere, but I can't stay silent. I saw Maxwell with a woman. They were in a restaurant, holding hands. Elena feigned shock. Mom, are you sure? Yes, it was Monday. I went into the city to see a doctor, stopped for a bite, and there they were. Redhead, very pretty. Redhead? Elena thought. Elena was a brunette. Could Maxwell have another mistress? Mom, don't worry. Maybe it was business. Business? He kissed her on the mouth. Elena felt the ground shift under her feet. It was one thing to know about Elena, another to realize her husband was running around with others too. What should I do, Mom? Fight for your family, or leave if you don't have the strength. But don't let him degrade you. You're beautiful, smart, successful. You don't deserve this. That evening, Elena met with Isaac. Update. Maxwell seeing someone besides Elena. Source. My mother-in-law saw him with a redhead. Interesting. Want me to dig? Please. And speed up the paperwork. I can feel time working against us. Don't worry. Everything will be ready by Friday. By the way, Elena signed all the loan docs. Her apartment is essentially yours if she doesn't repay on time. What's the term? 3 months. With interest, that's $7 million. She'll never be able to pay it back. Exactly. On Thursday, Elena made a decisive move. She invited the 3 top stylists from her salons, Sarah, Monica, and Olivia, for lunch. These women were star talents. Clients came for them specifically. Ladies, I have an offer. Want to open your own salon? The stylists exchanged glances. Elena, that's expensive. I'll give you the seed money and help with promotion. But you'll leave my company and start your own. But why? Sarah asked, surprised. Big changes are coming to the salons. I don't want you caught in the crossfire. Trust me. After a long talk, they agreed. Elena gave them her supplier contacts, helped find a location, even secured discounted rent for the first 6 months. Are you sure this is legal? Monica worried. Absolutely. Your contracts don't have non-compete clauses. You can walk out tomorrow. What about everyone else? I'll take care of them too. But you 3 are the priority. That evening, Maxwell came home agitated. Elena, can we talk? Of course, honey. What's going on? Sarah, Monica, and Olivia resigned. All 3. Same day. Really? Weird. Maybe a competitor poached them, but they were happy with their terms. Someone must have offered better. There are tons of new salons opening. Good talent is scarce. Damn it. Without them, we'll lose half our clients. Don't exaggerate. We'll find new stylists. Elena, do you even grasp how serious this is? I do. I'm just not going to panic. Friday morning, Elena signed the documents to sell 51% of the salons to William. The deal totaled $50 million, a fair price for a controlling stake in a thriving business. Congratulations, William said. You're under my protection now. And don't worry about your husband. My lawyers are ready for anything he throws at us. Thank you. When do we announce the deal? Monday. We'll hold a press conference and invite the media. It's going to be a bombshell in the beauty market. After signing the papers, Elena headed to the Broadway salon, the very one Elena was supposed to co-own. Kate met her with a worried look. Elena, it's chaos. Elena showed up this morning, said she's a co-owner now, and started bossing everyone around. Where is she? In your office. Said it's her office too now. Elena smiled. Perfect. Don't stop her. Let her enjoy herself. She walked in without knocking. Elena sat in her chair, feet on the desk, flipping through documents. Oh, Elena, I'm getting settled. Great office. Although I'd remodel, your style's too conservative. I'm glad you like it. By the way, the partnership documents are ready. Isaac's expecting us at 3. Awesome. Finally, I already told my friends. Everyone's shocked I'm a businesswoman now. Good for you. Just don't publicize it yet, okay? Let's finish the formalities first. At Isaac's office, Elena signed the papers without reading them. She was getting 10% of the Broadway salon, a small but real stake. What she didn't know was that the salon had been re-registered under a new legal entity with debts totaling the very $5 million she'd put in. In reality, Elena had bought into a money-losing operation, though she wouldn't find that out for a while. Congratulations on closing, Isaac said, shaking both their hands. Elena, you're officially a co-owner. One caveat, per the charter, you can't sell your stake for 5 years without the other founder's consent. Who cares? I'm not selling. This is a gold mine. Elena and Isaac exchanged a glance. That evening, Elena cooked a celebratory dinner. Maxwell was surprised. What's the occasion? Just in a good mood. Felt like spoiling my loving husband. She served his favorite dishes, poured expensive wine, and was tender and attentive. Maxwell loosened up. You know, let's take a vacation. Maldives, like our honeymoon. Great idea. When? In a couple of weeks, once I wrap a project. Deal. I'll look forward to it. After dinner, Maxwell moved in for kisses. You look gorgeous tonight. Elena didn't resist, though inside she recoiled. She kept thinking these were the last days of their charade. Soon it would be over. I love you, Maxwell whispered. I love you too, she replied mechanically, counting the minutes until he fell asleep. Saturday morning, Isaac called. Got info on the redhead. Her name's Christina. She works at the bank financing Maxwell's firm. Looks like the affair's been going on about a year. A year? What about Elena? Seems your husband's quite the player, juggling more than one. Do you have proof? Photos, hotel records. Want to see? No, just keep everything. We'll need it for the divorce. On Sunday, Elena suggested a drive out of the city. The weather's gorgeous, let's have a picnic. Let's just stay home. I'm exhausted. As you wish. I'll go see my mom then, it's been a while. Elena's mother lived in the Philly suburbs, in a small but cozy house. I'm fine, Mom. Just tired. Over tea, Elena couldn't hold it in and told her everything. Her mother listened in silence, gripping her daughter's hand tighter and tighter. That bastard, I knew he wasn't what he seemed. Too slick, too perfect. Mom, I'll handle it. I have a plan. What plan, honey? You'll see. The point is, I won't let them destroy what I built. Good. You're a fighter, just like your father. He'd be proud of you. Monday morning, New York woke up to a bombshell in the beauty industry. Business outlets blared the headlines, sensation. Lady Perfection merges with Williams Clinics. The press conference was held at the Ritz-Carlton. Elena looked impeccable in a white Chanel suit. William was solid and commanding. This is a new era in beauty, he told reporters. We're creating an ecosystem where clients get everything, from manicures to plastic surgery. Maxwell found out about the deal from the news. He stormed into Elena's office like a hurricane. What is this supposed to mean? You sold the salons? I didn't sell, I took on a partner. Big difference. Without telling me. I'm your husband. So what? It's my business, built before we got married. You're the one who said we needed investment. Not like this. You gave up control. It was the best move. William's a serious partner, we're leveling up. Do you realize what you've done? All our plans. Maxwell cut himself off. What plans, darling? Elena asked innocently. Expansion plans. I had the optimization scheme. Oh right, your scheme. William took a look. He said it was a straight path to bankruptcy. What does he know? Plenty. He has 15 successful clinics and $1 billion in annual revenue. I think he's trustworthy. Maxwell flushed dark red. You betrayed me. Me? Betray you? Sweetheart, it's just business. Don't take it personally. That evening, Elena called in hysterics. Elena, what's going on? I saw the news, but I'm a co-owner of the salon. And I still am? Of course. But now William's the main owner. Not exactly. He owns the holding company. You own a specific salon. Your 10% didn't vanish. But what? This changes everything. What exactly changes, Elena? Well, the growth plans. You've had plans for 2 days. You only became a co-owner on Friday. I just thought. Doesn't matter. On Tuesday, Maxwell didn't come home. He texted, working late, don't wait up. Elena smirked, probably consoling himself in Elena's arms or with that redhead Christina. She spent the evening sorting documents and preparing for the final act. Isaac had sent a full dossier on Maxwell's financial schemes. Not only had he tried to steal her business, he'd already started moving assets out of their joint property. Wednesday morning, Elena woke to a call from Kate. Elena, we've got a problem. Some people showed up at the Broadway salon saying they're the new owners. Who exactly? Reps from a firm called Beauty Invest. They have papers saying Elena sold them her share. Elena laughed. Kate, don't worry. Tell them Elena wasn't allowed to sell without consent from the other founders. They can take it to court. But they're threatening us. Call the police. And notify William immediately. His people will handle it. An hour later, Elena called. Elena, what have you done? These people say I owe them $7 million. Elena, you took a loan secured by your apartment. Remember the paperwork you signed? What loan? Those were partnership papers. And loan papers. You didn't read them closely. $5 million at 40% annual interest for 3 months. If you don't repay, you lose the apartment. You tricked me. Me? You wanted to be my partner. I gave you a chance. Bitch. Elena screamed and hung up. On Thursday, Maxwell came home looking like a thundercloud. We need to talk, he said. I'm listening, darling. I know what you did to Elena. And what did I do? You tricked her, set her up. Interesting. And how do you know about her problems? You two aren't exactly close. Maxwell hesitated. She called me, asked for help. I see. And will you help her? I don't have that kind of money. Pity. She's an old friend. You could have come through. Elena, stop playing games. I know you orchestrated all of this. What exactly did I orchestrate? The sale, the setup with Elena. Maxwell, you're delusional. I'm just running a business. If Elena was careless, that's on her. You've changed. You've become cruel and calculating. And you? Still the loving, faithful husband? Maxwell flared. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, dear. Just a rhetorical question. Friday morning, Elena packed a bag. Not everything, just what mattered most. Photos of her parents, her grandmother's jewelry, her favorite books. She left the rest, designer clothes, bags, shoes. Let Maxwell think she wasn't going anywhere. She rented a room at the Metropolitan and moved her things there. That evening she went back home like nothing had happened. Let's have dinner together, she suggested to Maxwell, like we used to, by candlelight. He was surprised, but agreed. Elena made his favorite steak and opened a bottle of collectible wine. What are we drinking to? Maxwell asked. To honesty, Elena answered, looking him in the eye. He choked. What do you mean? Maxwell, let's stop playing games. I know about you and Elena. Silence hung over the table like an executioner's axe. How? He finally squeezed out. Doesn't matter. What matters is this, it's over. I'm filing for divorce. Elena, listen, it's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. You and Elena plan to steal my business, divorce me, and live happily ever after on my money. That's not true. Maxwell, don't degrade yourself. I heard your conversation in our bedroom when you were drinking our anniversary champagne. Maxwell went pale. You left on purpose? No, I missed my train. Funny how fate can hand you the perfect gift. Elena, let's talk calmly. Yes, I had an affair with Elena, but it doesn't mean anything. And Christina? She means nothing too? Maxwell went rigid. How do you? I know a lot of things. Like the fact you've been moving our joint assets to shell companies for a month. That you've been prepping divorce papers. That you promised Elena my salons. All of that can be explained. No need. I've already figured it out and taken steps. What steps? You'll see. For now, goodbye, Maxwell. My lawyer will send you the divorce papers. Elena stood, grabbed her purse, and headed for the door. "Stop!" Maxwell shouted. "You can't just walk out." "I can, and I am. The house stays with you, it's in your name. The mortgage is yours too, $15 million still to pay. But you helped with the payments. Those were gifts to my loving husband. Gratuitous, as in free. You won't get a dime in the divorce. The prenup, remember?" "I remember. It says we each keep what's ours. My business is mine, your debts are yours." Once she left the house, Elena got into a cab and didn't look back. Isaac was waiting at the hotel with a bottle of champagne. "To freedom. To justice," Elena corrected. "By the way, there's news." Elena tried to sell her stake in the salon to a bunch of people. Everyone refused once they saw the restrictions. "And the apartment, if she doesn't repay in 2 weeks, it's yours. Or rather, your company's." "I don't want her apartment. Let her pay it off in installments over 5 years." "You're too kind." "No, I just don't want to sink to their level completely." Saturday morning, her mother-in-law called. "Elena, is it true? Maxwell says you're getting divorced." "It's true, Mom." "My God, why?" "Ask your son. He'll explain it better. He says you're involved with that William." "What?" "Mom, William is my business partner. He's 60 and has grown kids. I figured Maxwell was lying. Forgive him, dear. And forgive me for raising him that way. Mom, it's not your fault. And no matter what happens, you'll always be dear to me." Monday marked a new work week and a new life. Elena arrived at William's office, where a reception desk now was as well. "Elena, you look fantastic today," her new assistant, Natasha, greeted her. "Thank you, Natasha. What's on the schedule?" "Supplier meeting at 10, new cosmetics line presentation at 12, lunch with investors at 2. "Perfect." Life goes on. By lunchtime came unexpected news. Isaac called. "Elena, are you sitting down?" Maxwell filed a countersuit. "He's demanding half the value of the salons, claiming he invested money in them." "Let him prove it." "That's the thing, he seems to have some documents." "Forgeries, no doubt. We'll verify. But be ready for a long fight." "I'm ready for anything." On Tuesday, an unexpected visitor showed up, the redhead, Christina. Young, striking, in an expensive suit. "Elena, sorry to barge in. I need to talk to you." "About what?" "Maxwell. I know you're divorcing. And? I want to warn you, he's dangerous. I work at the bank that finances his company. He forged documents, took out loans for projects that don't exist." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I'm his victim too. He promised to marry me, and I believed him. Then I found out about Elena. We're both fools he used." Elena steadied her. "What do you want?" "To help you. I have copies of documents proving his schemes. In exchange, I asked for one thing, help me resign from the bank without consequences. I want to leave New York and start over." "You realize you'll be testifying against someone you loved?" "Loved?" "I loved the image he crafted. The real Maxwell is a creep and a manipulator." "All right, Isaac will contact you to work out the details." Wednesday brought a scandal. Elena stormed into the Broadway salon with a crew of grim-looking men. "This is my salon. I'm a co-owner." William's security handled the intruders quickly, but Elena still managed to throw a fit in front of clients. "Elena is a fraud. She tricked me. She stole my money." She screamed as they escorted her out. The video hit the internet and racked up thousands of views in an hour. William was furious. "Unacceptable. She's damaging our reputation." "Don't worry, William. I have a plan." Elena contacted a journalist she knew from a business outlet. "Want a scoop? A story about how a friend tried to steal a business and fell into her own trap." "Give me details." "Let's meet tomorrow. I'll show you everything, documents included." Thursday, a scathing piece about Elena went live. The reporter unearthed the whole backstory, the affair with a married man, the client poaching, the financial games. Photos of Elena and Maxwell at restaurants and hotels hit like a bomb. "Homewrecker and fraudster," the headline blared. By evening, Elena was the most talked about name on social media, and not in a good way. Maxwell called, livid. "What are you doing? Why air our dirty laundry?" "Me?" Elena made a scene at the salon. The press got curious on their own. "You set this up." "Maxwell, you flatter me. I'm not that omnipotent. You ruined Elena's life. Funny how you defend your mistress. Did you think about me when you were ruining mine?" "That's different." "Of course it is. Everything you do is different. Good luck in court, Maxwell." Friday brought unexpected support. 3 former stylists, Sarah, Monica, and Olivia, came by the office. "Elena, we saw what's happening. We want to help." "Girls, you left. You have your own salon." "Yes, but you helped us. Now it's our turn. We're ready to testify that Elena tried to lure us away with promises of the moon. And Maxwell offered us money for the client list, Monica added. Thank you, ladies. That changes a lot. Over the weekend, Elena took a break and went to see her mom. Her mother welcomed her with pies and warm hugs. How are you, sweetheart? I'm okay, Mom. Things are moving along. I read the article about that Elena. I never expected that from her. Me neither. 15 years of friendship. Not friendship, honey. She always envied you. I could see it. She just hid it well. You're probably right. At dinner, her mother suddenly said, you know, I'm proud of you. You didn't fall apart, didn't resort to screaming and scenes. You handled it with dignity. Mom, it's not over yet. I know, but you'll get through it. You're strong, just like your father. Tell me about Dad. Something good. And her mother told her about how they met, how he courted her, the letters he wrote from the army. Elena listened and, for the first time in a long while, felt at peace. Monday, the trial began. Maxwell arrived with 2 attorneys, looking confident. Elena came with Isaac. The first hearing was procedural. The judge heard both sides and accepted the filings. Maxwell claimed he had invested personal funds in the salons and helped grow the business. Elena denied it all and presented proof that the business predated the marriage. Your Honor, Maxwell's lawyer said, my client supported his wife for 7 years and created conditions for her business to thrive. He's entitled to compensation. What conditions? Isaac countered. He lived in a house my client paid for and drove a car bought with her money. That's a lie. Maxwell jumped up. The judge called for order. After the hearing, Elena got a surprise in the courthouse hallway. A woman in her 40s approached her. Elena, I'm Irene, Maxwell's ex-wife. Elena froze. Ex-wife? He told me he'd never been married. Oh, he was. For 5 years. We divorced a year before your wedding. He pulled the same thing with me, tried to take an apartment my parents left me. Why are you telling me this? I want to help. I still have documents on his schemes. Let him answer for everything. On Tuesday, Elena met Irene at a cafe. The story was almost a carbon copy. Maxwell married her for a Manhattan apartment, then started cheating while trying to transfer the property to his name. Good thing I caught on in time, Irene said. I managed to file for divorce and keep my apartment, but he ruined my life, spread rumors I was mentally unstable. That's awful. Yeah, so when I heard about your divorce, I decided to help. Men like him need to face consequences. On Wednesday, a new scandal broke. The bank where Christina worked filed a fraud lawsuit against Maxwell for $50 million. Turns out he'd taken out loans for fake projects using forged documents. Christina provided all the evidence. This is a setup, Maxwell yelled to Isaac over the phone. Your client orchestrated this. My client doesn't work at the bank and doesn't forge documents, Isaac replied calmly. By Thursday, Maxwell's empire started to crumble. Partners tore up contracts after learning about the schemes. Employees quit, not wanting to work for a company with a tainted reputation. And most importantly, the tax authorities launched an audit after receiving a tip about sham transactions. This is you, Maxwell called Elena. You're destroying me. Maxwell, you destroyed yourself. Do you know how I felt when I learned about your betrayal? Friday brought the unexpected. Elena came to Elena's office, pathetic, tear-streaked, aged 10 years. Elena, forgive me. I was a fool. What happened, Elena? Maxwell dumped me. Said it's my own fault for getting into something I shouldn't have. And I loved him. Loved him? Or loved what he could give you? I don't know. Maybe you're right. I wanted the beautiful life you had. And I decided to take your life for myself. I'm sorry. I know you hate me. No, Elena. I pity you. Elena, I'm begging you, help with the debt. I'll lose my apartment. I'll give you a 5-year payment plan. You'll pay $100,000 a month. But where would I get that kind of money? Work. You're a good stylist. You'll find a place. After that article, no one will hire me. That's your problem. I'm offering a compromise, either installments or you lose the apartment. Your choice. Elena burst into tears. Okay, I agree. Isaac will prepare the paperwork. And Elena, don't ever show up in my life again. On Saturday, Elena got an unexpected invitation. Victoria called. Sweetheart, come for tea. We need to talk. Her mother-in-law greeted her with open arms. Elena, dear, I've missed you so much. Over tea, Victoria suddenly said, I know everything. About Maxwell, Elena, all of it. How? Maxwell came by and told me, his version. But I'm not an idiot. I put 2 and 2 together. You know what I told him? That he's a disgrace to our family. That his father would rise from the grave in shame. Mom, don't be so harsh. I must. He betrayed the best thing he had in his life, you. For what? Money and a younger mistress. Elena's not that young. She's 30. Still, sweetheart, I want you to know, no matter what happens, you are family to me. If you need help, just say the word. On Sunday, Elena decided to start a new tradition, Sunday brunch for her inner circle. She invited her mom, Isaac and his wife, and the girls from the salon, Sarah, Monica, and Olivia. She cooked herself, pancakes with different fillings, homemade cheesecake, freshly squeezed juices. Elena, you've got a gift, Sarah marveled. Maybe open a restaurant? Don't make me laugh, I've got enough salons. At the table they talked about everything except Maxwell and the divorce, summer plans, new beauty trends, movies, and books. For the first time in a long while, Elena laughed for real. You know, girls, she said, I'm grateful for everything, even the bad stuff. It helped me see who my real friends are and who were just passing through. On Monday, the second court hearing took place. Maxwell looked rough, gaunt, bags under his eyes. His attorney presented new documents allegedly proving his investments in the salons. Isaac shot them down immediately. These are forgeries. The forensic exam will show they were created a week ago. The judge ordered an examination. After the hearing, Maxwell tried to talk to Elena. Why are you doing this? We could have settled peacefully. Peacefully? After what you did? Elena, I admit I was wrong. But you're no saint either. You sold the business. You set up Elena. I defended what I built with my own work. You tried to steal it. I'm your husband. Were. Past tense, Maxwell. On Tuesday came the news. The forensic exam confirmed the documents were fake. What's more, it turned out Maxwell had forged other papers too, including his company's financial statements. The DA's office took an interest. This is criminal now, Isaac said. Let him answer to the law. Do you feel sorry for him? Did he feel sorry for me? On Wednesday, an unexpected visitor came to the office, Maxwell's father, Victor. A distinguished man in his 60s, the spitting image of his son, just grayer. Elena, we need to talk. About what? Maxwell, he's my son, and I can't watch him ruin his life. What do you want from me? Stop this. Withdraw the suits. Settle quietly. Victor, with all due respect, no. Maxwell has to answer for what he's done. But this will destroy him. He destroyed himself when he chose betrayal. The old man paused, then sighed. You're right. I raised him badly. Spoiled him, let everything slide. Victoria told me I was ruining him, but I didn't listen. Don't blame yourself. Maxwell is an adult, he made his own choices. You know, Elena, I always thought you were the best thing that ever happened to my son. Shame he never realized it. Thank you, but it's too late to change anything now. Yes, I suppose it is. Good luck, Elena. You're a good woman, you deserve happiness. On Thursday, another scandal erupted. A video surfaced online of Maxwell in a restaurant bragging to his friends about how he duped his idiot wife and would soon live on her money. The clip was filmed a month ago, when he thought his plan had worked. She signs anything I give her without even reading, he laughed on camera. She believes I'm just handling tax optimization. The video hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Dozens of journalists called Elena for comment. She said the same thing to all of them, no comment. The video speaks for itself. Everyone else commented instead, bloggers, psychologists, lawyers. Maxwell was torn to shreds. The hashtag cheating husband trended all day. On Friday, the third and decisive court session took place. Maxwell showed up without lawyers. They'd refused to represent him after the video scandal. The judge announced the ruling. Maxwell's claim was denied in full, the divorce was granted, and assets would be divided according to the prenup. This is unfair, Maxwell shouted. This is the law. The judge snapped. After court, Maxwell caught up to Elena on the street. Happy now? You destroyed me. No, Maxwell, you destroyed yourself. I just stopped saving you. I hate you. I don't hate you. I pity you. You had everything and lost it to greed and lust. I hope you're miserable. I hope you find the strength to become better. Goodbye, Maxwell. On Saturday, Elena celebrated the win. Nothing flashy, just dinner with her closest people at her favorite restaurant. Her mom, Isaac and his wife, the girls from the salon, even Victoria came. To justice, Isaac toasted. To a new life, her mom added. To leaving the bad behind, said Victoria. After dinner, Elena stepped out onto the terrace. New York glittered with lights, life buzzing all around. She thought about the road she traveled, from that awful day at the station to today's victory. Did it hurt? Yes. Was it scary? Of course. But she'd made it. She didn't break, didn't stoop to eye for an eye revenge. She simply protected what was hers and let justice prevail. Sarah came up to her. Elena, can I ask you something? Sure. Do you regret anything? Elena thought for a moment. I regret not seeing the truth sooner, that I trusted people who didn't deserve it. But if not for all this, I wouldn't have learned how strong I can be. You're amazing. You're an example for us. Thank you, Sarah. But I'm just an ordinary woman who refused to be broken. On Sunday morning, Elena woke up in her new apartment, spacious, bright, with a view of Central Park. Not as luxurious as the house in the Hamptons, but hers, honest, untainted by lies. Freshly brewed coffee waited for her in the kitchen. She'd bought a good coffee machine, a small joy of her new life. Birds chirped outside, spring sun poured in. Her mom called. "Sweetheart, how are you?" "Wonderful, Mom. What are your plans today?" "Nothing special. I'll read, take a walk in the park, maybe catch a movie." "Alone? What's wrong with that?" "Nothing. It's just, you're young, beautiful. You should be happy." "Mom, I am happy. Truly. For the first time in a long while." And it was true. Elena felt free, strong, alive. Yes, her heart still ached from the betrayal. Yes, loneliness crept in sometimes. But it was honest pain, honest loneliness. Not the fake performance of a happy family, real life, with all its complications. On Monday, a regular work week began. The salons ran like clockwork. The new cosmetics line was a hit. The partnership with William was paying off. "Elena," William said at the staff meeting, "our profits are up 30% this quarter. That's your doing. All of ours." "No, yours. You brought fresh energy, new ideas. I'm glad we're partners." On Tuesday came unexpected news. Isaac called. "Elena, are you sitting down? Maxwell's been arrested." "What?" "The bank filed a police report. Large-scale fraud. He's facing real time." "Oh God. Aren't you happy?" "I don't know, Isaac. Probably not. I never wanted it to end like this. He chose that path." "I know. Still, we were a family once." On Wednesday, Elena called. Elena didn't want to answer, but curiosity won. "Elena, it's me. Don't hang up." "What do you want? Did you hear about Maxwell?" "I heard." "Elena, I want to apologize. For real. I was a terrible friend. I betrayed you." "Elena, we've been over this." "I know. I just want you to know I regret it. And thank you for the installment plan. I found a job. I'll make the payments." "Good. Good luck to you. And to you, Elena. Be happy." On Thursday, an unusual client came to the Fifth Avenue salon, a man around 35, tall, with sharp gray eyes. "Good afternoon. I'd like to buy a gift certificate." "For whom?" the receptionist asked. "For my mom. Her birthday's coming up." Elena happened to be walking by and couldn't help but overhear. Something about the man's voice sounded familiar. "Excuse me," he turned to her. "Could you suggest which treatments to choose? I honestly have no idea." Elena smiled. "Depends on your mom's age and what she likes. She's 58, loves everything natural, organic. Then I recommend our organic line, massage, treatments based on natural oils." "Thank you. By the way, I've seen you somewhere. Possibly, I own these salons." "That's it. I read about you in Forbes. Impressive success story." They got to talking. His name was Andrew, an architect, recently back from Italy where he'd been working on a major project. Smart, cultured, with a dry sense of humor. "May I take you out for coffee?" he asked suddenly. As a thank you for the consult. Elena was going to refuse, but something made her agree. "Okay, but just coffee." They went to a little cafe nearby. They talked about art, travel, books. Andrew turned out to be an engaging conversationalist, well-read without being dull, opinionated without being pushy. "You know," he said, "I don't usually meet people like this, spontaneously. But you're different." "How so?" "Real. No masks, no act. That's rare these days." On Friday, Andrew called. "Elena, there's a contemporary art exhibit opening tomorrow. Would you like to go?" Elena hesitated. It was scary, new relationship, new hurt. But then she thought, why not? She was free, and she had a right to be happy. "Okay, let's go." The exhibit was interesting, and Andrew was good company. He didn't try to impress her, didn't shower her with compliments, he just was himself. Afterward they had dinner at a small Italian restaurant. "I've heard about your story," Andrew said suddenly. "The divorce, everything." Elena tensed. "And I admire your strength. Not everyone can handle betrayal with such dignity." "Thank you, but let's not talk about it." "Of course. Sorry." On Sunday, her mom invited Elena out to the cottage in Pennsylvania to kick off the season. The weather was gorgeous, apple trees blooming in the garden. "Mom, it's beautiful." "Yes, your father loved this time of year. He'd say spring is the season of new beginnings." "Mom, I met someone." "Really? Tell me." Elena told her about Andrew. "Sounds promising. When will you introduce us? Mom, we've only met twice. So what? I can feel it. It's fate. On Monday came the verdict. The court sentenced Maxwell to 3 years probation and a hefty fine. A lenient sentence, given the scale of the fraud. Apparently, his father pulled some strings. Elena felt relieved. She hadn't wanted Maxwell in prison. It was enough that he'd lost everything: business, reputation, money. That evening, Victoria called. Elena, thank you. For what, Mom? For not testifying against Maxwell. The investigator said you declined. I don't want revenge, Mom. I just want to move on. You have a noble heart. Maxwell kept something for you. What? Come over, I'll show you. Elena went to her mother-in-law's the next day. Victoria handed her a box. It's yours. Inside were the family jewels, heirlooms traditionally passed to daughters-in-law. Mom, I can't. You can, and you must. You were the best wife my son could have hoped for. The fact that he turned out to be a fool isn't your fault. But I'm not part of the family anymore. You'll always be family to me. These belong to you by right. On Wednesday, Andrew invited Elena to the theater. They were staging Anna Karenina, a story of love and betrayal. Isn't that a little on the nose? Elena joked. On the contrary, sometimes it's good to watch someone else's drama and realize your own story isn't the most tragic. The production was stunning, and afterward they strolled through nighttime Manhattan, talking about everything under the sun. Elena, can I ask a personal question? Andrew said. Depends what it is. Are you ready for a new relationship? Elena stopped. I don't know. Probably not. The wounds are too fresh. I get it. It's just I'm willing to wait. Andrew, you barely know me. I know enough to see you're special, and I'm not talking about your business or your looks. You're strong, but not hard. Successful, but not arrogant. You went through hell and didn't grow bitter. How do you know I didn't? I can see it in your eyes. There's light there. On Thursday, something unexpected happened. A courier arrived at the office with an enormous bouquet of white roses. The card read, "To the most wonderful woman, M." Elena went cold. Maxwell? But then Andrew called. Did you get them? You sent them? Why M? Mitchell is my last name. You don't like it? No, I just was surprised. I wanted to make you smile. Today's special. What's today? Exactly 1 month since we met. Elena laughed. You're a romantic. Only with you. On Friday, Elena took an important step. She invited Andrew to Sunday brunch to meet her inner circle. That's serious, he said. It's just a friendly get-together. But my loved one's opinions matter to me. I understand. Thank you for the trust. The weekend was wonderful. Everyone liked Andrew, her mom, Isaac, the girls from the salon. He was natural, charming, attentive, helped in the kitchen, joked with the guests, even hit it off with picky Isaac. Good guy, Elena's mom whispered. Hold on to him. Mom, we're just friends. Of course, her mother smiled slyly. On Monday came a shocking call from a detective. Elena, I'm afraid I have bad news. Your ex-husband violated the terms of his house arrest and disappeared. Disappeared how? Last night. We have reason to believe he left the country. What about the sentence, the verdict? He's now on the federal wanted list. If he shows up, call immediately. Elena was stunned. Maxwell had run, abandoning everything, his parents, his debts, his messes. Typical. He didn't even say goodbye. He just vanished. Victoria sobbed over the phone. Mom, please calm down. Maybe he'll come back. No, I know my son. He's a coward. He ran like a rat off a sinking ship. On Tuesday, the details came out. Maxwell had flown to the Emirates with fake documents, taking the last of the money, about $1 million, that he'd hidden from the investigation. Elena had disappeared too. Neighbors saw her loading things into a car and driving off to parts unknown. Maybe they ran away together? Isaac suggested. Possible. Two of a kind. But on Wednesday that was debunked. Elena turned up in Miami, got a job at a local beauty salon, and rented a modest apartment. She called Elena. I'm starting over. I'll send payments on the debt, like I promised. Good. Good luck. Elena, and Maxwell? Did he really run? Yeah, the jerk. He dumped everyone, you, me, his parents. He was always like that. We just didn't want to see it. On Thursday, Andrew made an unexpected offer. Elena, let's get out of the city for the weekend. I have a small place in the Catskills. It's beautiful right now. Andrew, I know ulterior motives, I promise. Just rest in fresh air. Elena agreed. Why not? She was a free woman, entitled to a break. The house turned out to be lovely, small but cozy, with a fireplace and a terrace overlooking the woods. They hiked, cooked together, and in the evening sat by the fire with a glass of wine. You know, Elena, Andrew said, I was married. Really? Yeah, a long time ago. We divorced 5 years back. She met someone else. Did it hurt? Terribly. I thought the world had ended, but later I realized it was for the best. We weren't right for each other. I used to think Maxwell and I were the perfect couple, Elena admitted. How naive I was. Not naive, hopeful. That's not a flaw. Now it's hard for me to trust. I know, but time helps. New people do, too. He took her hand. Elena, I'm not rushing you. I just want you to know I'm here, whenever you're ready. On Sunday, driving back to New York, Elena felt something new. Not love, it was too soon, but warmth, calm, a sense that life goes on and still has room for good things. Thanks for the weekend, she told Andrew. No, thank you. I haven't felt this good in a long time. Andrew, let's not rush. I need time, as much as you need. I'm not going anywhere. A month passed. Life settled into a steady rhythm. The salons thrived. The partnership with William paid off. Elena and Andrew met regularly, but without pressure, theaters, exhibits, walks. He didn't push, didn't demand, he just showed up. Her mom approved. He's a good man. Don't let him slip away. Mom, I'm not ready for anything serious. Who said anything about serious? Just live. Enjoy. One June evening, Victoria called. Elena, I have news. Maxwell surfaced. Where? Dubai. He sent a letter asking for forgiveness. What did you say? Nothing. He died to me when he betrayed you and ran like a coward. Mom, he's still your son. A son doesn't abandon his mother in a crisis. He left his father and me to deal with his debts and his mess. No, Elena, I have no son anymore. A letter came to Elena too. Maxwell wrote that he regretted everything, begged forgiveness, promised to make it right. I realized what I lost. You were the best thing in my life. Give me a second chance. Elena read it and tossed it in the trash. There are no second chances for traitors. She'd learned that for good. In July, Andrew made a proposal, not marriage, not yet, but a trip together. Let's go to Italy. I'll show you the places where I worked. Elena agreed. 2 weeks in Tuscany, villas, vineyards, small towns with 1,000 years of history. Andrew was the perfect guide and companion. And it was there, watching the sunset from the terrace of an old villa, that Elena realized she was falling in love. Differently this time, cautiously, but falling. Andrew, she said on their last night, thank you. For what? For showing up in my life. For your patience, your understanding. Elena, wait. Let me finish. For a long time I didn't believe I could feel again. I thought Maxwell killed my ability to love. But you gave me my faith back. So let's try. No vows of eternal love, no grand promises. Let's just try to be together. Back in New York, they became an official couple. They didn't flaunt it, but they didn't hide it either. Andrew moved in with Elena, not all at once, but gradually. First weekends, then more often. By fall, they were living together. Daily life proved surprisingly easy. Andrew was independent, didn't expect to be waited on. In fact, he often cooked and helped around the house. In September came the news. Elena got married to the owner of the Miami salon where she worked. She sent a wedding invitation, but Elena didn't go. No point reopening old wounds. She wished her happiness and moved on. And in October, Elena learned Maxwell had married too, a wealthy Emirati widow 15 years his senior. Victoria cried. He sold himself for money. Elena comforted her, though inside she thought, everyone gets what they deserve. By New Year's, life had fully settled. The business grew. They opened 2 more salons and launched an online cosmetic store. Her relationship with Andrew deepened, steadier, more secure. He wasn't perfect. Sometimes he forgot important dates, sometimes got lost in work. But he was real, honest, faithful, loving. On New Year's Eve, as they stood on the balcony watching fireworks, Andrew suddenly dropped to one knee. Elena. Elena was flustered. Andrew, are you serious? Absolutely. I know you've had a rough experience. But I'm not Maxwell. I will love you, protect you, respect you. Always. I need to think. Of course. I'll wait. She thought for a week. It was scary to trust again, to believe again. But Andrew had proved he was different. In a year, he hadn't lied, betrayed, or disappointed her once. Most importantly, with him she felt like herself. Not the perfect wife, not the successful businesswoman, just Elena. Yes, she said on the morning of January 8th. Yes, I'll marry you. They had a spring wedding, simple, intimate, just the closest people. Her mom cried with happiness. Victoria came to give her blessing. Even the girls from the salon were moved to tears. You've earned this happiness, Sarah said. And Elena believed it. Yes, she had. After betrayal, pain, and disappointment, she had earned real love. A year passed. Elena sat in the same cafe at the station where she once hid from the rain after that fateful encounter with the fortune teller. She was waiting for a train to Boston to sign a contract for new salon openings. Everything had come true, just as the fortune teller predicted. Her life had turned sharply. "May I sit?" a familiar voice asked. Elena looked up. It was the fortune teller, the same one, older now, but unmistakable. "Please, you recognized me?" "Of course." "Well, did my predictions pan out?" "More than that. I can see it. Happiness shining in your eyes. And a new ring on your finger." "Thank you." "For what?" "For stopping me that day. If I'd called my husband, I wouldn't have learned the truth." "Fate, dear. You can't outrun fate." The fortune teller stood, then turned back. "One more thing, expect an addition to the family. By fall, the stork will arrive." "What?" But the woman had already vanished into the crowd. Elena thought about it. She had been feeling queasy in the mornings lately. Could it be? She pulled out her phone and dialed Andrew. "Baby, we need to talk. I think we're having a baby." Epilogue. 5 years later, Elena stood on the stage of the Ritz-Carlton's Grand Hall, the annual Businesswoman of the Year awards. She'd won in the category Best Beauty Salon Chain. In the audience sat Andrew with their 4-year-old daughter Mia, her mom, Victoria, and the salon team. "I want to thank everyone who's been with me all these years," Elena said into the mic. "Those who supported me in hard times. Those who believed when I didn't believe in myself. And even those who betrayed me. You taught me to be strong. Life is a strange thing. Sometimes you have to miss a train to find your true path." Applause filled the room. Mia waved from her seat. "Mommy, you're the prettiest." Andrew smiled, proud and in love. Elena thought about how strange life is. Maxwell's and Elena's betrayal, which had seemed like the end of the world, became the beginning of a new, real life. A life with room for honest love, loyal friendship, meaningful work, and happiness. She stepped off the stage and joined her family. Mia threw herself into her arms. "Mom, you won." "Yes, sunshine, I did." But this victory wasn't about business. It was a victory over herself, over fear, resentment, the urge to get revenge. A victory of good over evil, love over hate, light over darkness. Far away, in the Emirati desert, Maxwell sat in a luxurious but foreign villa beside a wife he didn't love, counting the days to divorce and property division. He often thought of Elena, their house, their life. And he understood. He lost everything chasing the ghost of easy money and a younger mistress. Elena in Miami wasn't happy either. Her husband turned out to be a tyrant. The salon wasn't hers, and the debt to Elena hung around her neck like a stone. Every day she cursed herself for betraying a friend, for her stupidity, her greed. But it was too late. The past can't be undone. And Elena? Elena was happy, truly, without qualifiers or doubts. She had everything: a loving husband, a wonderful daughter, a thriving business, loyal friends, and most importantly, a clear conscience and a light heart. She forgave everyone, Maxwell and Elena. Not for them, for herself. To move forward without dragging the weight of old hurts. That evening at home, tucking Mia into bed, she told a story about a princess who defeated an evil dragon not with a sword, but with kindness and wisdom. "Mom, do dragons really exist?" her daughter asked. "They do, sweetheart. They just look like ordinary people. And how do you beat them? Don't let them beat you. Stay kind, honest, strong. Then no dragon is scary." Mia fell asleep, and Elena stepped out onto the balcony to Andrew. New York glittered with lights, life buzzing below. "What are you thinking about?" her husband asked, wrapping his arms around her. "About how glad I am I missed that train. It was fate. Probably. You know, I'm grateful for everything. Even the pain. It led me to you. And me to you. I love you, Elena. I love you too, Andrew. Very much." They stood there, holding each other, looking out at the night city. Somewhere back there, in the past, were betrayal and pain. Here, in the present, were love and happiness. And that was Elena's greatest victory. She didn't let evil break her, didn't stoop to revenge. She just kept living. And life paid her back 100-fold. The story ended, but life went on. And Elena knew that whatever happened next, she'd handle it. Because she was strong. Because she had people who loved her. And because sometimes you need to miss one train to catch the right one, the one that takes you to happiness. But life, as we know, doesn't like happy endings, it likes sequels. And a month after her triumph at the awards, a new story knocked on Elena's office door. "Elena, you have a visitor. She says your old acquaintances," Natasha the secretary reported. "Who?" She didn't give her name, but insists on meeting. Says it concerns your ex-husband. In the waiting area sat a well-groomed woman of about 45 in an expensive suit, but with a tired face and eyes. Elena? I'm Victoria, the wife, widow, of Sultan al-Rashid. Elena tensed. This was the very Emirati widow Maxwell had married. How can I help you? Maxwell is dead, Victoria said without preamble. Elena sat down, feeling the ground slip away. Despite everything, the news shocked her. How? A car crash. 3 days ago. He hit a truck at 200 kilometers an hour. The police say he was drunk. My God. I didn't come just to tell you. Before he died, he talked about you a lot. He asked me to deliver a letter. Victoria took out an envelope. Elena took the letter with trembling hands. Maxwell's handwriting was shaky. He'd probably been drunk when he wrote it. Elena, if you're reading this, I'm dead. Maybe that's how it had to be. I destroyed everything good in my life. You, family, the future. Victoria is a good woman, but I used her too. Like everyone. Forgive me, if you can. I loved you. In my own selfish, wrong way, but I loved you. He'd been drinking for months, Victoria continued. Depression, guilt. I tried to help, but every night he said your name in his sleep. I didn't get jealous. I understood I was just a life raft to him. One that didn't save him. I'm very sorry, Elena said sincerely. Thank you. I wanted to ask another thing. Will his parents accept the body? I think so. I'll give you their contacts. After Victoria left, Elena sat for a long time, staring out the window. Maxwell was dead. The man she had loved, lived with for 7 years, who betrayed her, dead. There was no gloating, no satisfaction, only emptiness and sadness. She called her mother-in-law, Victoria. Mom, sit down. The cry of pain on the line tore at her heart. Even a son who betrays is still a son. The funeral was quiet, without pomp. Only close family came. Elena attended with Andrew to pay her last respects. Victoria hugged her at the casket. Thank you for coming, honey. I had to. Elena came too, thinner, in a black dress. They nodded to each other but didn't speak. At the grave, everyone was alone with their thoughts. After the funeral, life moved on, but something had shifted. Maxwell's death put a final, irrevocable period at the end of that chapter. Elena realized the resentment was gone. There was only the memory of the good that had been, and the understanding that everything had unfolded as it was meant to. Are you okay? Andrew worried. Yes, it's a strange feeling. Someone who was such a big part of your life just disappears. That's life, love, unpredictable and finite. A week later, an unexpected caller reached out, Christina, the redhead who'd been Maxwell's lover. Elena, can we meet? I have information you might want to hear. They met at the same cafe on Madison Avenue. Christina looked completely different now, the sharp suit replaced by jeans and a sweater, the bold makeup by something natural. I'm leaving New York for good. But before I go, I want to tell you something. Maxwell wasn't who he seemed. He owed money to very serious people. He took funds for business development from criminal groups. What? Yes. And when the business collapsed, they started demanding it back. That's why he ran to the Emirates. But they found him there too. You're saying the crash? I'm not claiming anything. Just a strange coincidence. The day before he died, he got a call from New York. They demanded he return the money and come back. He refused. Elena went cold. If that was true, Maxwell had been playing a very dangerous game. Why are you telling me this? Because those people might come to you. You were his wife. They might decide the debt's passed to you. But we've long been divorced. They won't care. Be careful. Christina stood. And one more thing. I'm sorry. For everything. I was young and foolish, fell for pretty words. You didn't deserve what happened. We were all young and foolish once, Elena said philosophically. That evening she told Andrew and Isaac everything. The men grew concerned. We need to take precautions, Isaac said. I'll reach out to some contacts in the police, have them check it out. And we should beef up security, Andrew added. At the office and at home. Aren't you overreacting? Elena, this is about your safety, and Mia's. The next day, 2 men really did show up at the office, polite, but with cold eyes. Elena, we need to talk about your ex-husband's debts. I'm not responsible for his debts. We've been divorced for over a year. We understand. But he could have left something with you for safekeeping. Documents, valuables. He didn't leave anything. That's a shame. The debt is large, $50 million. It would be good to settle it. Speak to his heirs. We will. Have a nice day. After they left, Elena called security. When William heard what happened, he was furious. Some thugs threatening my partner? Not happening. He made a few calls, and by evening it was clear Maxwell's debt was real, but after his death the creditors had no legal grounds to go after the ex-wife. But they might act outside the law, William's attorney warned. The next few weeks were tense. Security escorted Elena everywhere, and Mia was driven to daycare in an armored car. But gradually things cooled down. Maxwell's creditors realized there was nothing to squeeze out here and backed off. The crisis has passed, Isaac said. But the aftertaste remained. Even after death, Maxwell had managed to cause problems. August brought happier news. Sarah, Monica, and Olivia, the stylists Elena had helped open a salon, invited her to the grand opening of their second location. Elena, none of this would exist without you. You're our guardian angel. Their salon was thriving. Quality services, fair prices, a warm atmosphere. Girls, I'm so proud of you. We learned from the best. At the opening, Elena ran into someone unexpected, Herman, her first boss, with whom she'd worked as an administrator 15 years ago. Elena, what a coincidence. I've been following your success, so proud of you. Herman, you look wonderful. Retired now, babysitting the grandkids. Remember when you came to me, young, inexperienced, but with that fire in your eyes? I remember. You gave me a chance, and I wasn't wrong. You know, I've always been able to spot potential in people. You had steel in you, strength. People like that make it. Talking with Herman made Elena reflect on the road she'd traveled. 15 years ago, she was nobody, a girl from the suburbs with an economics degree and a dream of a beautiful life. Now she was a successful businesswoman, owner of a salon chain, wife and mother. The path hadn't been easy, ups and downs, betrayal and new love. But she'd walked it with dignity. In September, Mia started the prep group at an elite academy. At the parent meeting, Elena ran into Elena. Turns out she had returned to New York. Her husband in Miami had beaten her. She'd run, filed for divorce, found work as a regular stylist in a small salon, and was renting a one-bedroom on the outskirts. Elena, I know you don't want to talk to me. Elena, our kids are in the same class. We'll have to communicate. I have a daughter, Sophia. She's 4. Congratulations. Elena, I want to apologize. For real. I was a terrible person. Elena, we've been over this. I know. I just need you to know I got what I deserved. Karma caught up. Elena looked at her former friend, older, exhausted, beaten down by life, and suddenly felt pity. Elena, let's forget the past. Our kids are in the same class. Let's at least keep things neutral. Thank you. That's more than I deserve. They started greeting each other, discussing kid stuff, even grabbing coffee sometimes while they waited for pickup. They didn't become friends. That's impossible after betrayal. But they learned to coexist. In October, something big happened in Elena's life. She found out she was pregnant again. Andrew was over the moon. A son. We're having a son. How do you know it's a son? I can feel it. Man's intuition. And he was right. An ultrasound confirmed it. A boy. Mia was thrilled too. I'm getting a baby brother. I'll protect him. Even her mom cried from happiness. 2 grandkids. I'm the luckiest grandma. The pregnancy was easy, no morning sickness, no complications. Elena kept working, but Andrew and William wrapped her in care. No stress, William said firmly. We've got an heir to the beauty empire on the way. You're exaggerating. Not a bit. By the way, I've been thinking, maybe we launch a kids line? Beauty salons for little princesses. Interesting idea. Let's discuss it after the baby. In November, unexpected news came from her mother-in-law, Victoria. Her father-in-law, Maxwell's father, had suffered a heart attack. Elena, he's asking you to come. Says it's important. Elena went, despite Andrew's objections. Victor lay in the hospital, gaunt, aged 10 years. Elena, thank you for coming. How are you feeling? Dying. The doctors won't say it, but I know. My heart can't take it. My son's death, the disgrace, the debts. I want to give you something. He pulled a folder from the bedside table. These are the papers for land in the Catskills. 20 acres, a good spot. I bought it long ago. Meant to build a house there for Maxwell. Now I'm giving it to you. Victor, I can't. You can, and you must. Think of it as compensation for what my son did to you. And also, for your children. Let them have a place to breathe fresh air. But Victoria, she agrees. We talked. You're our daughter, divorce or not. Elena accepted the gift. Not out of greed, but out of respect for a dying man. Victor died a week later, before there could be any public reckoning with his son's memory. At the funeral, Victoria was stoic. Now they're together, father and son. Maybe there, Maxwell will ask forgiveness. Mom, you'll always be family to me. I know, honey. And I'll be there if you need help with the kids. In December, the salons geared up for the holidays. Elena launched a charity drive, free services for moms from shelters. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful, she told the team. The campaign was a huge hit, with clients and in the press. You're doing something good, Andrew said. Just giving back some of the good the universe gave me. Right before New Year's, a little miracle happened. The same fortune teller who had once stopped Elena at the station walked into her office. Hello, dear. I see everything came true, just like I said. You were right. I'm always right. It's my gift. I came to congratulate you. Your second joy arrives soon. You mean my son? Him. He'll be strong like his father, kind like his mother. And another thing, a long, happy life lies ahead. Just guard what you have. Don't chase what you don't need. The fortune teller left, and Elena sat thinking. Guard what you have, wise advice. She had everything for happiness, a loving husband, a daughter, a son on the way, a successful business, loyal friends. What more could she want? Maybe just health for her loved ones and a peaceful sky. Andrew walked in with Mia. Mom, we came to pick you up. Time to decorate the tree. And Elena realized, that's it. That's happiness. Simple, real, priceless. They rang in the new year with a big crowd, family, friends, partners. Even William came with his wife. To the wonderful Elena, he toasted. To the woman who proved you can walk through hell and remain an angel. You exaggerate, William. Not at all. I've seen a lot in this life. You're rare, strong but not cruel, successful but not greedy, betrayed but not embittered. At midnight, while everyone shouted Happy New Year and clinked champagne glasses, Elena and Andrew slipped onto the balcony. Snow fell softly over the city, fireworks painted the sky. Happy? Her husband asked. Beyond measure. You know, I sometimes wonder what would have happened if I hadn't missed that train. You'd probably be living in the illusion of happiness with Maxwell. We wouldn't have met. There'd be no Mia. No little one. Elena laid a hand on her belly. Fate is a remarkable thing. Yes, and the trick is to trust it. In February, their son was born. The delivery was easy. The boy came into the world healthy and strong. They named him Alexander, after Elena's grandfather. Andrew cried with joy, and Mia demanded they bring her brother home immediately. He's so tiny. I'm going to babysit him. Even the doctors melted at the family's bliss. There was a surprise waiting at home. Victoria arrived with gifts for the baby. Congratulations, honey. What a little warrior. She brought a family silver spoon. It belonged to Maxwell's great-grandfather. May it bring luck. Thank you, Mom. No, thank you, for letting me be a grandmother to your children. I won't live to see my blood grandchildren. Life flowed steady and sweet. The salons thrived. The kids grew. Her relationship with Andrew only deepened. Sometimes Elena remembered the past, Maxwell, the betrayal, the pain, but without anger. More with a kind of quiet understanding. It all had to happen to lead her to real happiness. In May, for the holiday weekend, they decided to visit the land Victor had gifted them. The place was truly wonderful. Forest, river, clean air. Let's build a house, Andrew suggested. We'll come on weekends. Let's do it. Kids need nature. They started building not a massive mansion like back in the Hamptons, but a cozy family nest. Andrew oversaw the construction. He was an architect, after all. The house was coming together beautiful and functional, a big living room with a fireplace, 4 bedrooms, a spacious kitchen, a terrace overlooking the woods. This will be our family home, he said. Our kids will grow up here, then our grandkids. You're looking pretty far ahead. Why not? We have everything we need. In June, an unexpected encounter. Elena was walking in the park with the kids and ran into Irene, Maxwell's first wife, who once helped her in court. With her was a boy of about 12. Elena, what are the odds? Irene, so good to see you. Is this your son? Yes, Daniel. And these are your kids? They're beautiful. They sat on a bench while the children played. I heard about Maxwell, Irene said. It's a pity. For all the bad he did, he didn't deserve to die. Yes, it ended tragically. You know, I hated him for a long time. Then I let it go, and life fell into place. I remarried, had a son. I'm happy. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for you. I read about you in magazines, successful businesswoman, loving wife and mother. You proved you can build a new life after Maxwell. They parted warmly, even exchanged numbers. Later they touched base now and then, holiday greetings and check-ins. 2 women deceived by the same man, who managed to rise and find happiness. There was a certain irony there, and a certain justice. By July, the house was finished. They celebrated the housewarming in style, friends, family, partners. Even Elena came with her daughter, The kids had become friends at daycare, so it would have been silly not to invite them. She kept to herself, quietly, but Elena noticed the way she looked at the happy family with a touch of sadness. "Don't be jealous," Elena said to her silently. "Build your own happiness." At the table, William raised a toast. "To this home. May it always hold happiness, love, and the laughter of children. And to the lady of the house, the woman who proved that good always triumphs over evil." "You're exaggerating again." "Elena, accept it as fact. You're a role model to many. You went through betrayal and didn't break. You didn't turn to revenge, you just kept living. And life rewarded you." That evening, after the guests left, Elena sat on the terrace nursing little Alex. Mia played on the lawn with a new puppy, a housewarming gift from Andrew. Her husband fussed over the grill, making dinner. Simple family idol, but to Elena, it was a genuine miracle. Just 3 years earlier, she'd stood on a train platform watching a departing train and thinking life was over. "What are you thinking about?" Andrew sat down beside her. "About how strangely everything worked out. If not for Maxwell's betrayal, we never would have met. Then it was meant to be. Probably. You know, I don't feel angry at him anymore. Or at Elena. They did me a favor, showed me I was living with the wrong people. Wise. Resentment is poison you drink hoping the other person dies." "Where'd you read that?" "Heard it somewhere. But it's true." By fall, the business leveled up. They opened salons in Boston, Philadelphia, and Washington. They launched a franchise. Dozens of entrepreneurs wanted to work under the Lady Perfection brand. "We're building an empire," William cheered. "The main thing is not to lose quality chasing quantity," Elena replied. She personally oversaw every opening, staff training, service standards. "Our clients should get the same top-tier service in any city," she told partners. And it worked. The brand became synonymous with quality and reliability. In October came news. Elena was getting married to a company owner, a widower with 2 kids. "He's a good man," she told Elena at the playground. "Not a looker, not rich, but solid. He treats my daughter like his own." "I'm happy for you, Elena. Truly. Thank you. I've rethought a lot. I realized I was chasing ghosts, someone else's happiness, easy money. Real happiness is in simple things." "You're right." Elena didn't go to the wedding, too much water under the bridge, but she sent a gift, a year-long service certificate to her salon. Elena called in tears. "Elena, that's too generous. Consider it a wedding gift, and the period at the end of our story. Be happy." "Thank you. For everything. And I'm sorry again. Forgiven long ago. Live your life." In November, Mia started first grade. Serious and responsible, she was her parents' pride. "Mom, I'm going to get straight A's," she declared. "What matters most is that you're curious." "I'm curious about everything. Especially math." Takes after her dad, Andrew smiled. At the first parent meeting, the teacher said, "You have an amazing child, smart, kind, always helping others. You've raised her beautifully." December brought the unexpected. Victoria, the widow from the Emirates, called. "Elena, I'm in New York. Can we meet?" They met at the Metropolitan. Victoria looked better, rested, younger. "I sold everything in the Emirates. I'm moving back to America. I want a fresh start." "The right decision." "Elena, I want to apologize. For Maxwell. I knew he was married when we met, but I fell in love and lost my head." "Victoria, don't. It's in the past." "No, it matters to me. You're a woman of integrity. You didn't deserve that. And I want to help. I've got money left from the real estate sale. Maybe I could invest in your business." "Thank you, but I already have a trusted partner." "Then maybe charity? I know you help shelters." "Now that's something. Let's talk." They created a charitable foundation, New Life, to help women affected by domestic abuse. Victoria contributed the seed capital. Elena brought the organizational muscle. "We've both known pain," Victoria said. "Let's help others." The foundation took off quickly: shelters, counseling, job placement. 2 women tied to the tragic figure of Maxwell, doing a good thing. They rang in the new year at the new house. The whole big family gathered, even distant relatives. Mother-in-law Victoria doted on Alex. "My golden boy." Mia performed a little play she'd prepared with her friends. Andrew played guitar, everyone sang. Simple family happiness, worth more than any fortune. At midnight, Elena made a wish: let it always be like this. Let her loved ones be healthy, the kids grow up happy, love never fade. "What did you wish for?" Andrew asked. "Secret. For you to always smile like you are right now." They kissed as the clock struck 12, and Mia shouted, "Yay! New Year! Can we open presents now?" In January, a major international holding company offered to buy the salon chain for a mind-blowing sum. $300 million, their rep said. You become one of the wealthiest women. Elena consulted William. What do you think? It's your call. But think about it, you built this from scratch. Are you ready to let it go? I don't know. It's a lot of money. We could secure the kid's future for life. Money isn't everything. Your passion is. After long deliberation, Elena turned it down. It's my baby. I'm not ready to sell. Andrew backed her up. Right move. We can make money elsewhere. You won't build a business like this twice. The company rep was stunned. You're turning down $300 million? I am. Some things aren't for sale. You Americans are strange. Yep, that's us. In February, Alex turned 1. They celebrated with family, cake, balloons, presents. The little guy took his first steps and everyone cheered. Strong kid, takes after his dad, Andrew beamed. And smart, like mom, Mia added. Mother-in-law Victoria cried with joy. If only Maxwell could see what kind of family you have. Maybe he'd understand what he lost. Mom, let's not dwell on sad things. Today's a celebration. In March, exactly 4 years after that fateful station encounter, Elena found herself on the same platform again. She was headed to Boston for a salon opening. And once again, she was running late. Traffic had been brutal. But this time she didn't stress. She'd catch the next one. She sat down in a cafe and ordered coffee. A young woman approached. Excuse me, are you Elena Mitchell? Yes. I've read about you, your story. Can I ask you something? Of course. How did you find the strength to forgive? My husband cheated with my friend. I can't get past it. Elena looked at her, young, beautiful, but with lifeless eyes. Just like she herself had been 4 years ago. You know, I didn't forgive right away. At first there was pain, anger, the desire for revenge. But then I realized, as long as I held on to resentment, I couldn't move forward. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for yourself. But how? How do you forgive betrayal? By understanding that it was their choice, their karma. And you have your own path. And on that path, you'll find happiness again. The main thing is not to shut down, not to grow bitter. The woman began to cry. Thank you. You gave me hope. Everything will be fine, you'll see. Sometimes you need to miss one train to catch the right one. What? My personal philosophy. Good luck to you. The woman left, and Elena sat thinking. How many women like her were out there, betrayed, abandoned, stripped of faith and love, and how important it was for them to know that it's not the end, but the beginning of a new life. That evening, she called the widow Victoria. Let's expand the Foundations program. Not just shelters, but also support groups, psychological counseling. Excellent idea. And maybe you should write a book about your story? A book? Yes. So women know you can survive betrayal and still be happy. I'll think about it. Maybe you're right. Spring was beautiful. Their country house was surrounded by flowers. The children played in the garden. Andrew was building a gazebo. We'll have barbecues here in summer. Elena sat on the terrace with her laptop, starting to write. The first chapter was titled Missing the Train. She wrote honestly, without embellishment, about pain, betrayal, but also about renewal, new love, and happiness. What are you writing? Mia peeked over her shoulder. A story, sweetheart. About a princess? In a way, yes. About a princess who defeated a dragon. And the prince? Did he save her? No, darling. She saved herself. The prince came later, when she'd already become strong. That's a strange fairy tale. But it's a true one. By summer, the book was finished. The publisher, a friend of Andrew's, read the manuscript and said, it's a bestseller. People need stories like this. You're exaggerating. Not at all. It's about strength of spirit, about how after a dark streak, there's always light. The book was released by autumn, and it truly became a bestseller. Letters poured in by the hundreds from readers. Thank you, you gave me the strength to go on. At the book presentation, the hall was packed, journalists, bloggers, ordinary women. Elena, your story inspires so many. What advice would you give to those going through betrayal right now? Asked the journalist. Don't shut down. The pain will pass, the wounds will heal, and happiness will come again. You just have to believe and not give up. And did you forgive your husband and your friend? Yes. Not for them, for myself. So I could live on without the weight of resentment. After the event, a woman in her 50s approached her. Elena, I'm the fortune teller. Do you remember me? Elena froze. Standing before her was an elegant woman in a business suit. But how? I'm not really a fortune teller. I'm a psychologist. I work with people in crisis. Sometimes I help in unconventional ways. I saw you at the station that day, the look in your eyes, the phone in your hand. I knew you were about to call someone and not learn the truth. I decided to intervene. But how did you know? Experience, intuition, and a bit of psychology. Your whole demeanor said things weren't right at home. So there wasn't any real prediction? There was. I saw strength in you, potential. I knew you'd make it. I just gave you a nudge in the right direction. Thank you. No, thank you. You proved me right. A person can survive anything and still find happiness, as long as they don't give up. They exchanged contacts, and the fortune teller, Vera, became a consultant for their foundation. Autumn was warm and golden. On her 37th birthday, Elena woke up to the sound of children's laughter. Mia and Alex were trying to sneak a cake into the bedroom. Mommy, happy birthday. Andrew carried a tray with breakfast. Happy birthday, my love. That evening friends gathered. William brought a painting by a famous artist for your new home. Her mother gifted family earrings. They were your grandmother's, now they're yours. Her mother-in-law, Victoria, brought an antique icon to protect your family. But the most touching gift was a video greeting from the women their foundation had helped. Thank you, Elena. You gave us hope. Make a wish. Everyone shouted as Elena blew out the candles. She closed her eyes and thought, I want it to always be like this. For my loved ones to be near, healthy, and happy. She opened her eyes and saw the faces she loved, her husband, her children, her mother, her friends. And she realized her wish had already come true. She had everything she'd ever wanted. That night, when the house was quiet, Elena stepped into the garden. The stars shimmered in the clear sky. The air smelled of apples and autumn leaves. She thought about her journey, from that lost woman at the station to a successful businesswoman, a happy wife and mother. The road had been hard, but every step was worth it. Can't sleep? Andrew hugged her from behind. Just thinking. About what? About how amazing it all turned out. If someone had told me 4 years ago that I'd be this happy, I wouldn't have believed it. You've earned this happiness. We both have. Together. I love you. And I love you. More than life. They stood embraced under the starry sky. Somewhere in the distance, trains rumbled, carrying people toward their destinies. And Elena knew her train had brought her exactly where she was meant to be. Home. To love. To happiness. To real life.